So I've definitely made a video on this topic before, but I wanted to kind of talk about it again here in today's video. So I want to talk about greatness and what it means to become uh legendary, legendary LeBron James status or Stanley Kubrick. I'm trying to think of other directors. I'm guessing if you're watching this, you're some sort of a content creator, photographer, videographer, etc. So maybe you have your idol who you think about in this realm, right? I'm not really sure if I have one, to be honest. I guess Christopher Nolan, yeah, Stanley Kubrick, Steven Spielberg. You get what I'm saying, right? These amazing people throughout history whose names stay on the test of time and who will always be kind of remembered as just epic, legendary figures, right? And what does it take to become somebody like this? Now, obviously, it goes without saying that it takes a ton of work, right? So this is the thing. I think that there's a misconception, especially when you talk about like an artist, right? Like a music artist. People get this notion that you one day you've made it, right? One day you blow up and you've made it, and I think that there's a misunderstanding, right? It's like you work your whole life, you eventually get to the point where it's like boom, you've made it, and then now it's all sunshine and rainbows. Now it's all cushy and it's chill. And I think that this is the misunderstanding, is actually it never is chill. If you quote unquote make it and you quote unquote, get to that point where you are, quote unquote legendary or great, or you're this renowned, highly esteemed, looked up to figure in whatever field you're in, those people are doing the most work. It's not like, you make it to that point and then you can relax. It's like, no, like those people are working harder than everyone. Like that's the point. That's what makes them that person. And they've always done that, and once they've made it, they keep doing it. And that's the thing. And I think you really need to ask yourself, I think there's lots of people, especially again when it comes to music artists, maybe some people who are like this, who sort of think about it. They everybody wants to be one of these people, right? Everybody wants to be famous, and everybody wants to be, super popular, and for people to know their name and everything like that. But it's like, do you actually think about, if this is you, do you actually think about the amount of work that that's going to take? Because I do, and I think I'm down for it. And this isn't something that's for everybody, because this requires a sort of psychotic mindset. It's almost like kind of messed up if you really think about it. It requires like, um almost, psychotic obsession with whatever your craft is, because that's the only thing that's the only way you're going to be able to do that amount of work. It's the only way you're going to be able to keep up, and compete with the other people who are playing at the highest level in whatever field you're in. You know, I've said this in other videos that I've made. I just think about how many videos I've made, how many photos I've taken throughout my life, and how much practice I've had, and it wasn't ever like I was just, um, doing that as any means to an end. It's like I was doing that because I look at it as like the only thing I have sometimes, and it's I look at it as, I treat it, it's an obsession. You know what I mean? I don't look at it as work. I look at it as like, this is as necessary for my life as, eating and sleeping and breathing. And that's, if you have something that's like that, I think that is the first, um, almost prerequisite to achieving this level of greatness, right? And who's to say when you've made it, right? It's not, again, I don't think there's a certain point where it's like, cool, now you've made it, and now you can chill and relax. I think it's just a ongoing process that is you doing a shitload of work, an absolute shitload of work. And the only way you're going to do that is if you're obsessed again. And that's where, I feel like the people who I relate to most share that obsession, with content creation. And the success comes almost as a byproduct. It's not even like you're doing it as a means to an end for money or for success or for anything. It's just you wind up reaching a place that you never thought you could get to. And I think that a lot of people, they think that that's that legendary status, that epic, you know, just just think about it, being one of the best, just being one of the absolute best. They think that that's something that is reserved for only a select few, and technically, yeah, it is. But you can be one of those people, and it's all the only difference between you and someone who's like that is the amount of work that you're putting in. And so that's where it's important, I think, to take a step back and just think about it in terms of, do you first of all, do you want to be one of these people in whatever field you are? Odds are it's probably yeah. And two, you should just look and say, how much work am I putting in? Am I putting in an insane amount of work? Am I putting in so much work that people say, hey, you need to relax, you need to chill, you need to take a breather? Are you hearing that from people around you? If so, good, because that's what it's going to take. And I'm sure that, we don't have any actual understanding or conception at all of the amount of work that somebody like these people put in. I don't think we have any understanding of how much it takes, and how we just see the good life. We just see the sunshine and rainbows and the fans and the money and the private jets and big mansions. And so it's like, hey, that stuff it's all equivalent to the amount of work that they put in. It's all a byproduct. They didn't get lucky. Or if they did, it doesn't last. It's still something that is a result of the work that you put in. So that's all for today's video. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. If you've made it this far and you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Make videos where I'm yapping about random topics that I like to talk about, usually business or content creation related. So let me know what other topics you want to hear about. If you've made it this far, drop it down in the comments or send me a DM on Instagram if you're interested in talking with me one-on-one. That is all for today. Thank you guys, as always, so much for watching. Peace.